Captain Atom number 8, written by J.T. Kroll, art by Freddie E. Williams II. Last issue we left off with Captain looking at Renita and I think his name is Scott, having dinner, staring at them, wishing he could have that life. And then meeting up with a different version of himself, saying how we need to talk. And this issue just picks up immediately afterwards. And basically, it's immediately... I'll get the B plot out of the way first. Renita and Scott are talking, and Renita is just amazed at her hand and like how it's been fixed by Captain Atom. And Scott's like, yeah, no, he's great, super awesome, cool. And she's like, no, but seriously, like it's better than my hand was before. Like it has zero imperfections about it. And that's all there is for that plot. So meanwhile, I have no good way to describe these, so the one that met up with Captain Atom is one from the future. So future Captain Atom meeting up with the current one, saying like, hey, we need to talk. I'm not inside your head, but we got to go. And he just rips Captain Atom out of the time stream to just see all what's called the ocean of time. And it's just a huge, like, frothing wave of events, literally. And he describes how causality isn't the way you think it is. Like, everything here ripples into everything else, and the biggest oceans can have the biggest effects, but even the smallest waves can change those giant waves, and blah blah blah. It's just a whole thing to represent time. And regardless, they see a giant wave nearby, and apparently that is the destruction of the entire planet. And Captain Atom's like, all right, how did that happen? And he's like, no, 20 years from now, it's going to happen. I don't know how exactly it happened because, again, tiny ripples in the time stream. But regardless, we need to call a meeting of the minds. And then all these different Captain Atoms from throughout the time stream show up. Some of them are so far advanced that, like, they don't even need to speak anymore. They just use their thoughts or whatever. One of them's like a multi-faced, multi-armed god. So, yeah, they're all talking, and they're all like, okay, so here's the deal. We can't change our pasts. Nobody can change the past. It is the past. And any changes therein would cause our own destruction because, like, we can't do that. However, a loophole is that it is still technically in your future. So you can change the future, but you can't change the past. Therefore, you can go in and stop the destruction of the planet. And they're like, cool, how do I do that? And they're like, we don't know, but we can tell you the exact day it's going to happen, and we'll send you there. So hop on in, save humanity. So they drop him off in the time stream, and it is in the future, very slightly in the future. So we see that in this future, he drops off in LA, and he is literally like immediately praised as a god. Like some of them have like his symbol tattooed onto their palms, and they're like holding it up to him, like being worshipped. But he's like, all right, well, I don't have any time for that. And he splits off a bunch of different copies of himself to just scour the entire world to try to find whatever's going to cause the end of it. And he sees how the world has changed in the meantime, and it's like, yeah, no, apparently I changed the world a lot, and all these people are much better off for it. Like, you know, some things are the exact same, but like the military presence is a hell of a lot less. Scott's dead, so that's interesting. Even General Eiling has kind of mellowed out. He's not totally cool, but he's mellowed out at least. But there has to be something wrong. Like, in order for the world to end, something needs to be wrong. So he goes to the Continuum, and he tries to talk to Dr. Magala. He sees that the entire place is abandoned, but it's still operational. Something's still running this. And as he goes into a deeper part of the chamber, he comes across Dr. Magala in giant mech armor, and he's literally just like a head hooked up to it. And he's pissed off because Captain Atom refused to share the wonders of the quantum world with him. He's like, I offered you your body back and you turned me down. He's like, I didn't want my body. I wanted you to take my mind with you to explore the universe or whatever. But regardless, I can still take it from you now. And so he pulls out all these weapons and starts firing it at Captain Atom. And apparently his suit is made of some special molecular thing that Captain Atom's unable to change. But he's like, okay, fine, but I can still change the atoms around you. And he surrounds Magala in this bubble of nitroglycerin. and he just tells him, stay still or you're going to blow up. Now, here's the deal. I don't know what I did to you because this isn't my time. And Magalla's like, oh, okay, time displacement. And he's like, how are you just so cool with that? Like, you just wrap your head around, all right, whatever. Anyway, I'm kind of trying to figure out how the world's going to end, but I'm not entirely sure how. Do you have any idea here? And then Magalla says that you did it for her. You blessed her with your touch. And then he's like, what? I did it for Magalla? Where's Renita at? And then we cut to Libya, where some people are being chased down by some religious extremists being shot at. And they are apparently driving to Mecca, and they just barely cross over the land that constitutes Mecca, where immediately a bright flash of blue light and a word of stop pops up, and we see that the person protecting these people from the religious extremists is Renita, who has a glowing blue hand. She's dressed in full like superhero garb, and she says, these pilgrims are under my protection. And that's where it leaves off. Alternate future storyline, Days of Future Adams. I like it. It's a interesting enough story. I liked it overall. Honestly, my critiques are so petty and so like not even worth sharing that it's not even whatever. There are some issues. I'm not going to say there aren't, but it's such tiny little things. I really like this thing of, it feels like, okay, if Captain Atom kept on a certain path of like helping people and like doing these amazing things, this is a place that I could see of like, he wipes out the nuclear weapons. He pretty much wipes out most crime in general. People worship him as a savior. It's like your typical Superman thing of like, if he didn't go fascist, but he just kept on doing incredible things forever, would there eventually just be a religion of him? And the answer is apparently yes. So yeah, no, I'm interested in it. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. I think it makes sense that Renita has the powers because Captain Atom, did something to her. But I also think that it's kind of like, okay, yeah. Because, like, Captain Atom made, like, those feathers out of the jet planes. Did those feathers also have superpowers, or were they just feathers? It's kind of playing a little bit fast and loose with, like, what does Captain Atom actually do here? But overall, to tell the story, I'm fine with it. So I give this one I'll give this 7. I think it's a very solid book, very nice, very well told. Don't really have that much complaints about it. Art, still fantastic throughout, if not a little bit too dark in places, but I like the designs of the other Captain Atoms as well. Those are super cool, and I look forward to seeing them more next issue.